restart the meeting, okay? I'm calling the meeting to order. Trustee Schmidt, yeah, I can't even talk. If you could take roll calls, that would be appreciated.
Trustee Kritzmeyer. I'm here.
Try that again.
Trustee O'Connor. Here. Trustee O'Reilly.
Hi, here.
Trustee Tanucci.
I am here. Okay. We have a quorum. And did you ask me if I was here?
No, but I don't usually.
Okay, you don't have to, I guess. Motion to allow Trustee Browski and Trustee Michaud to attend remotely. Okay, moved by Trustee O'Reilly, seconded by Trustee Kritzmeyer. That's a roll call.
Trustee O'Reilly.
Aye.
Trustee Kritzmeyer. Aye. Trustee O'Connor. Aye. Trustee Tanucci.
Aye. Okay, you're in the meeting. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, justice for all.
All right. The very next item on the agenda is homeowners associations that may be here tonight or online. Is anyone from Country Club Meadows here? Stephen Santowski? Hey, George. Anybody from Edgebrook Downs? Adam Lerner? Adam, are you there? Is that you, Adam? There's an Adam on the line, but
He's mute.
I can ask him to unmute. All right, not speaking.
There he is.
Adam, you're not from La Savine, are you? Savine.
Savine.
All right, I can't hear you. You do appear to be unmuted. All right, or Edgebrook Downs, Adam, whichever. And then Savine, Howard Montgerton, are you here? All right, if not, we will move to the next section of the agenda, which is public comment. We did receive one comment that we posted on the website under the comment section. But anyone here in the room or online have any public comment?
I would.
Yes.
I have.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I would just like to say that I appreciate the newest article in the Herald about the bridge. I think that was super smart on your guys' part strategically. All of the PR has been bad, and so that recent article was really good. So we appreciate that as the West Side neighbors of the bridge here.
All right, thank you for that, Ben. Anybody else? Yes?
Hi. I want to talk about ordinances and enforcement. Is this an appropriate time to talk about that?
Just during the public comment period, so go ahead.
So, I live in 1707 Edgewood Lane in Long Grove, and I have a ordinance tree problem, and I'm trying to implement the ordinance that was signed by Lori Lyman back in 2016, that any tree that imposes any kind of danger to the neighboring property should be trimmed or taken care of. I've gone through my steps. I've talked to the involved verbally. I've talked to them by email. I've sent a registered letter, and now I've gotten the village involved with Greg Jackson and Joel Salazar. But unfortunately, the people involved are ignoring it. They're ignoring the citation, and nothing's been done to the tree. The tree is a gigantic 100-foot willow tree that has dead branches, and they fall directly on my driveway. In fact, one hit my car last November, my son's car, and dented it. I had not verbally said anything to him up to that point, so the insurance company said, hey, you gotta start taking some steps to let them know that the tree is a problem. I'm kind of counting on the village to kind of help me a little bit, and And I'm just wondering what meat the ordinances actually have.
We're in the, as Terry describes it, it's exactly how he describes it. We have given notice. Joe Salazar is our code enforcement person from Mundelein, just for anybody who doesn't know the name. We have approached the owner. They said they did some initial work. Terry and I had subsequent conversation, and it's become evident that they did not do, well, they didn't do sufficient work because they would have had to climb the tree or at least, it's sizable tree that you're not just cutting with a chainsaw on.
Yeah, he trimmed a tree that was not involved with what we talked about. It was in the back of his yard somewhere.
So we sent him a notice of 10 days to get the business days to get the situation corrected. That would have been as effective as of yesterday. Joel Salazar went out there today, could not make contact with the individual. So now we have to take it through the administrative hearing process. It's a notice of violation on code.
So what other options do we have?
Is there meat to that? That's the question I have. Is there any meat to that? 'Cause
Yeah, I
just ignore it and go,
now, there's meat to it because we had just taken action on a property elsewhere in town that went in substantial fines.
Okay.
And finally, the agreement that they would demo buildings on the property. So there's some bite behind it.
Okay.
I
appreciate that.
Yeah, the problem is, well, I don't want to say the problem is due process and
So slowly.
yeah, and,
Well, but if a tree branch right now is a safety problem, I mean, can the homeowner take it down, or?
And it was a $2,000 quote.
Oh, okay, you've heard
It's a
that.
big load.
Okay, got it.
So,
yeah, it almost becomes a civil issue, but we'll pursue it on, we will continue to pursue it on our.
and a follow-up on the ordinances, we seem to have a lot of ordinance violations all through the village where there's cars on 53, there's those 20 cars that are sitting there rusting away. There's businesses in back of people's yards and residential areas, and we don't seem to get after it.
Well, part of it, it's two things. First of all, the cars on 53 we know about, there's some court action that's been taken on that property. We addressed a property on the east side of town that had a number of cars in their driveway that we were looking to bring the Secretary of State's police involved with it. Because of the model of government we have, we're complaint driven. There's nobody technically in the field unless they're out there responding to a complaint. So when somebody makes a call, then we'll respond. And
It seems like everyone just does what they want, and their attitude is, hey, if they catch me, I'll do something.
yeah, it can be
I'm gonna
frustrating.
do what I want. No permit doesn't really matter. People are just doing what they want everywhere.
Yeah, it can be frustrating, and then we deal with it on the back end where somebody comes back and says, why are you picking on me? Well, it's not picking on it,
Right.
so.
Okay. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Anybody else online have anything else? If not, then I'll move on to the next agenda item, which is public safety report, and we have Ryan Amber here, Sergeant Ryan Amber, to give us that report.
Well, I don't have a report for you, but I thought I was meeting with Sergeant Kaiser here, who have the report, because now all the information goes to him, so, I'm sorry to say I'm not in tune with the recent happenings within the village, because that information's not being forwarded to me anymore. My purpose for coming tonight was simply just to say, I'm not gonna get emotional, everybody, goodbye to all of you. I've been doing this for 7 years. 2015, I took over for Lieutenant Couric, and I didn't think that I'd be doing it for this long. But I've really enjoyed all of the people I've met here. You guys have been really great to me, and I hope I did a good job for you all.
We're gonna miss you, Ryan.
Yeah, no,
We're absolutely
I know it
gonna
might
miss
seem silly, but it's kind of like after 7 years, I've gotten to know you guys, and it's been a big part of my life and my Tuesday nights, and it's gonna be a little different, but decisions were made beyond my control, and I know it didn't have anything to do with my job performance. So you're in good hands with Sergeant Kaiser. He's a very good guy, I've known him for 20 years. Not as good looking as me, not as definitely not as funny as me, but
Can we get,
you're in good hands with him. He's a
so
good
first off, can we give him a round of applause?
Yeah.
We're gonna miss you. Can somebody take a picture or something?
I have a black eye right now, so I prefer not to.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, my 3-year-old, I wish I had like a story, my 3-year-old had like me yesterday. No, good, I'm glad.
All right, we won't do that, but,
So what's next for you?
Well, I'm still doing, what I do, it's just, I'm at the courthouse now, and, this is off my plate, so, and not in a good way, I enjoyed the communication I had with you all, so.
I thought you were on boat duty. That's what I was gonna ask.
No, last year I was, and then I went into the courts for the winter, and, I was able to finagle that, now that I've lived on, nice to have weekends off, baseball and all that other stuff, so. Being on the water till 2 in the morning on Saturday nights like I was last year is not my thing anymore.
This is kind of like sending your kid off to college. You know?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, I share a zip code with you, my wife and I live right over in Hawthorne Woods, so I'm close, so I'm sure I'll see you guys downtown here at the festivals and whatnot, and all of that, but you guys have been great, I really love working with you all, you treated me really well, so thank you for that. And
Don't drive any U-Hauls down Road Parker, okay?
oh,
No, I know better.
You made my first year on that transition a heck of a lot easier, Ryan, and I
No, yeah,
appreciate
it was great working with you, it was easy, and I just tried to do my best for you guys and get you all the information I could as quick as I could, so. You're a great group of folks, and thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're gonna be missed.
Hey, I'm always around for you, anything, so.
We know where to find you.
Mega Cavern?
Mega Cavern.
I'll see how far it is from where we're standing, maybe we'll make a day trip with it.
No Mammoth Cave?
Zip lining in there, it's amazing. It's very fun. It's awesome.
All right, thank you.
Take care, Ryan.
Okay, so we again have several items on a consent agenda, which we put in place to try to handle more routine, hopefully not controversial items. So you have before you several items that are in the consent agenda. And if anyone wants to remove one, it can be considered separately. So any comments?
Motion to approve?
I'd like to discuss the grant.
That's outside of it.
Oh, it's not part of this?
Nope.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You want to second it?
Second.
Okay, so moved by trustee O'Reilly, seconded by trustee O'Connor.
Hey, Bill, may
Roll
I ask
call.
a question? May I ask a question?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Can anybody or does anybody have the status update on the noise considerations that we've talked about 4 weeks ago at the previous meeting? Or what's the status of us?
Yeah, we're still working with Mundaline on it. Mundaline had to do something similar with a place called Sundance up in Mundaline. And so right now it's with them. Both of our entities have been in the middle of other projects, so I'll get back with them and visit it again tomorrow.
Do we have
That was the
any?
last conversation.
Thanks,
sorry.
Manager Jackson. Sorry, do we have any deadlines or any target deadlines for when we want to complete this activity?
We haven't said any, no.
Can we?
Sure, whatever the board
Well, when
wants.
do you think you can get it completed?
Well, the decibel testing is going to take time. It took almost a full season for Mundaline, from what I understand, because there's weather issues and climate issues and distance and and then also I understand from Ryan Messner that there was a decibel study done prior to my arrival. I've been trying to locate that and I can't. But if the board gives me a report back to them with a status update and the attention wants to be directed on that, absolutely we can. If you, the second meeting in August, Trustee Borowski?
That's fine by me. It's just I just want to get something on the calendar so we have a target instead of just, I don't want to say delaying it, but not knowing when we can complete or move towards completion. So thank you for that.
You sounded like you had something else, the way you paused. Is there something else?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No. Just thank you for that. I think just so we have a target that we're trying to
Okay.
wrap it up. I appreciate it very much. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other?
If I could just tag on to Chris, I appreciate you asking about schedules, Chris, and I also appreciate that you know, we've got outside staff and inside staff that are sometimes short-staffed as everybody goes on vacation. It would just be really helpful to know, okay, these things are on for, I mean, if it's 5 months from now, at least we know what to not ask about.
Almost like the engineering report, where you get a sense of when it's gonna be done, if you just put a date on it.
So you were working on a calendar though, weren't you, or something?
I've got a list of projects that I'm working on right now, and it's, as you and I were talking about this morning, it's a pretty extensive list. And, by no means is this an excuse. We're had one person out, 4 out of the last 6 weeks, and then we are short, obviously Denise, where she went on. So trying to juggle competing priorities has been a little bit of a challenge, especially those related to public safety, life safety, activity with the sheriff's department. So, but that being said, for the next village managers meeting, I will put a full list of projects there. Again, it's pretty extensive, so I'll put that together for the board.
Yeah, just expectation setting, not trying to say, oh, you're diligent, or.
Oh, no, I get it.
There will not be punishments.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Through 12 are the consent agenda items?
Yes,
Okay, that's right.
yep.
I missed the other business.
Actually, it goes all the way down to 13. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, you seconded it, right? It was moved by trustee O'Reilly. That is a roll call.
Trustee O'Reilly.
Aye.
Trustee O'Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Borowski.
Aye.
Trustee Christmeyer. Aye. Trustee Michelle.
Aye.
Trustee Finucci.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Moving right along to item number 14 is the village planners report. Do we have anyone on the call tonight to do that?
I don't believe so.
Village Manager Jackson, do you want to make any comments?
The report pretty much speaks for itself. The Architectural Commission has asked the property owner at 7237 Graywall to make some modifications to the design, and they will be reappearing before the AC once those plans have been updated. The sign at the old Arborea, which is now New Perspectives, the AC had comments on that sign and made some recommendations. They will be returning.
May I ask on that one, where mention is made of the landscaping? Is that the old landscaping issue it's a new landscaping issue?
No, it's not I think they're talking about the landscaping around the sign. That's not what I understand the other the Arborea landscaping's along the perimeter of the residential area over there.
Yes.
That's my comment. This is just the landscaping around the sign.
Gotcha.
Okay, so where's the other landscaping issue sitting?
That landscaping issue is Jeff and I went over and met with them. They are unresponsive to what we want to do, so I've got to work with Vic on that. We certainly have money in theirs. But yeah, they've been absolutely unresponsive.
But it's all new management now too, right?
Yeah.
Starting over.
Not a good time.
So,
I'm sorry.
so this issue, we can't hold this up. Oh,
I think and unless I'm speaking out of turn, I defer to the village attorney, but I don't see why we couldn't.
So is this, so we can let Vic talk, but is this the place to do it? So it goes through the full, architectural process, they approve it, it still comes back to us for review.
That's correct.
So that's where we can object. Correct, Vic? Yeah, he's
That's
nodding,
right.
yes.
Yeah, no, that's correct. That they have their review and then it's still subject to village board oversight.
okay, is there any way that we can perhaps whisper to them that may happen?
We just did, but yeah.
Okay,
But yes.
okay, thanks.
Thanks, Greg. You can whisper.
I had an unrelated question.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. Just when the Architecture Commission is recommending certain modifications, I'd be interested not to interfere, but just On what basis? Is this taste or is this some sort of, and we have something in our record books that says,
Yeah,
I'm curious.
and that's an excellent point, and we need some clarification on what is expectation based on architectural designs with clearances that have been approved and subjectivity. And,
Will we get a report back on their meeting that they're having with, so can that be included in an explanation so that we understand why they do what they do?
absolutely, and what happens is the planner puts together a detailed report noting everything that they've decided, and based on what they've decided, we'll make that available to the board.
Yeah, it's kind of the basis, on what basis are they
Yeah,
making decisions?
yeah.
Just.
I don't like that color.
That's what I meant by, is it taste or not?
Yes.
So I'm trying to
Yes.
just understand.
And just to make the board aware that at the next architectural commission meeting is on August 29th, because people are taking people back to school and things like that. I am conducting a training session or a give and take between the manager and the commission on questions they have and expectations.
Yeah.
So we're doing that in an hour in advance of the meeting, and we will reconvene that again if we need to. I've also discussed doing the same with the CFCC.
Perfect.
If I
other-
might, there is one point that the board might want to be mindful of with respect to your oversight of the architectural review process. You are required, or someone is required, to file an appeal. It could be any board member, it could be the board itself. So if there is a desire, particularly, sorry about the dog, if there is any desire to review the arborea or whatever its newest name is, landscaping and signage, that can be simply stated today at the meeting, and then that way it will be subject to board review at a future meeting.
I'll do that today?
Yes.
Okay, so, this is for the record, right? Trustee O'Reilly has appealed it, based on, the incomplete landscaping that's been done? Should have been.
Long outstanding issue on other landscaping.
Thank you.
What do you think?
The long is what's important. It's gone on forever.
Okay, you got that? All right, so that's for the record. All right, anything else?
Remaining in the report, Planning Commission Zoning Board of Appeals meets next Tuesday on the Range USA petition. And the Conservation Scenic Corridor Committee will be meeting on property 6881 September Boulevard. That property had removed their conservancy, or had their conservancy removed, and the CSCC is going to direct that they release the conservancy.
Is that one of those, they do as they please?
Yeah, it's a gray area, we're not sure, but yeah, it got removed, and it got removed without any type of approval, permission, not that it would have, but, so.
Where is the meeting Tuesday?
It is at the Ela Township Senior Center. I will make sure that the address is sent out to everybody. It's the same location that they were going to do when the previous meeting was scheduled. It's in Lake Zurich.
Oh.
Former post office building?
I could not tell you that. It's a beautiful building, just.
No, you're talking about the Ela Town Hall.
Across from,
No, Ela Senior Citizen Center.
Oh, okay.
oh, that is,
It's right down from the police station and the fire station.
yes.
Right down by St. Francis, when you go past St. Francis Church over there.
Across from the funeral home.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's the former post office now.
I was looking at go straight 100 yards, go straight 100 yards.
We went left.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Can I keep us moving? Jeff, with the engineer's report?
Certainly. So the engineer's report is in the board packet. Just a couple items that I'll highlight tonight. First one is the Stemple parking lot. We've finally got the Lake County Division of Transportation permit to widen the access at Old McHenry Road. We're working with the contractor to get their time and action plan to complete the work. The local 150 strike was tentatively resolved late last night, so I should see some action here in the next few days on that time and action plan. The access, they are removing and replacing concrete there, so that access will need to be closed for a few days while that concrete cures. So we're making sure that they start that work on a Monday, so that way that access can be opened on a weekend, by the weekend. Next thing to highlight, just dropping down to number 7. I'm just going to skip number 5. That's the next thing on the agenda. But number 7, that's the traffic signal at Old McHenry and Robert Parker Coffin Road. Didn't get the update from Lake County, but wanted to pass along that the county is still looking to put that light in front of that Landmark Exteriors building. Their contractor is still looking for the parts. So not a great update, but wanted to update the board accordingly. Dropping down to number 9, Lake County Public Works has a project to improve their sanitary sewer force main and lift stations on Route 83, and this is just south of Route 22. The county has informed the village that construction is going to resume yesterday and be complete within 3 months. And according to their email over to the village president, there's going to be temporary off-peak lane closures for that work. So certainly as I hear about any planned lane closures, I will be sure to coordinate with the village so that notice can be given if and when those happen.
You want to talk really quickly, because we did notify the residents and neighboring residents, right?
Put it out on social media as well as Constant Contact. Gave a better defined location onto where the work was happening.
Okay.
So
And you talked to your peers too, so.
yes, Buffalo Grove and
Hawthorne Woods.
oh, thank you.
Yeah. For the suggestion of Trustee O'Reilly, so.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt you, I just wanted to make sure everyone.
No, no
Yeah.
problem. Then the last thing I want to highlight is number 17, the Arlington Heights Road Reconstruction Project. The county is moving forward with the design plans for that project. There was a design coordination meeting on July 11th that Village Manager Jackson attended. As reported at the meeting, the county is looking to have the plans done by September of next year, and then construction in 2024 and 2025. So just given a schedule update on that. Other than that, there's a lot of other goodies in here, I'm sure. And if there's any questions, happy to respond.
Any questions? All right, everyone's saying no. So you're up for the next item, which is discussion, consideration. What happened there? Did we drop? Of approval of the quote for the corrective asphalt materials in the amount of $56,259.50 for the Reclamate application road preservation. Jeff, you want to give us a rundown on that?
Certainly, certainly. So, you know, the village spends a lot of capital in maintaining their roads, and most often the biggest expense is resurfacing those roads. And if you've been to the HOA president's meeting, we talk about doing preventative maintenance and, you know, an ongoing maintenance to kind of extend the life of the roads. In 2018, the village did some what's called Reclamite pavement preventative maintenance. Reclamite's a product that seals the pavement, seals the asphalt into the pavement, and extends the life about 5 to 7 years. It's gaining a lot of traction. There's been a lot of articles in the Daily Herald lately about using this product in Lake County. Lake County Division of Transportation and a number of the communities around Long Grove also use it. Like I said, the last time that the village applied this Reclamite was in 2018. And at that time, the Reclamite was applied to the roads resurfaced the previous 3 years. So the roads that were resurfaced in 2015, 2016, and 2017 have Reclamite on them. And those were primarily the roads in Country Club Estates. So before you tonight is a proposal from Corrective Asphalt Materials in the amount of $56,259.50 to apply Reclamite to the roads that the village resurfaced in 2018, 2019, and 2020. 2020 was Cuba Road, 2019 was Robert Parker Coffin Road, and then 2018 was a slew of various roads that included Indian Creek Road, Schaefer Road, Roanoke Court, Don Court, and Arlington Heights Road. So the pricing of this is $1.06 a square yard, so pretty competitive for what we've been seeing. So in the discussion with Manager Jackson, we wanted to bring this forward to the board for discussion, direction, and approval, if we want to pursue that. Excuse me.
I have a question about this. I tried to do some research about it, and I found, as you mentioned, a lot of municipalities and counties and so on throughout the Midwest are using this product. And I read about what are the intended benefits and the theoretical benefits. Do we have studies showing actual benefits, or are we looking at theoretical benefits right now?
Corrective Asphalt Materials has a lot of documentation and actual benefits of that. They provide a lot of brochures. I don't have an up-to-date one, but I certainly can get that. They've been applying the product. Their bread and butter is the Fox Valley region where they started. They've been applying this for 10 years, so they've got some good actual data on the benefits of it.
We use it in our HOA. In fact, we started using it before the village did. So, and we suggested that it's something we may want to look at.
Yeah.
But
I'm not doubting it. I was just wondering if any studies been done where this road has had it applied and that road has not had it applied, and they're in the same general area, subject to the same conditions, and 7 years later you compare the two roads. Has that ever been done?
Corrective Asphalt Materials has exactly that. They've got pictures. They applied it to one lane, didn't on the other lane, and got a picture 7 years later just to show the difference.
But do we know that on our roads?
We did not treat any roads in that fashion, meaning, you know, was it the spot applied in one area to compare it? The roads that we did in 2018, we applied it throughout.
So everything that you put it on a 2018 road and no road hadn't been done at the same time to make a comparison? How about a 2017 road?
So, okay, I see what you're saying. You know, the roads that were with the Reclamite 15, 16, 17, we've driven those. Those are aging as we would expect, you know, with the roads that have the Reclamite on them. You know, we treated every road that was resurfaced in those years. So I don't have, you know, a road that Long Grove resurfaced in 2015 that has Reclamite versus a road that they resurfaced in 2015 that does not have Reclamite.
About the 2014 road, only a year off from the 2015.
That's how we did all our roads.
We had studies when we first started using this product, because I remember looking them up and referencing ones that those studies referred to. So we did do the research on it, but insofar as testing the roads or, you know, no, we haven't, that I'm aware of.
But what I'm saying is, can we now
Sure, why not?
look back
Yeah.
and create something that can be evaluated? Yes, we did, and no, we didn't, and here's the difference.
Yes.
It's not, as Ken said, it's not that I don't disbelieve it, I just
Right.
kind of seeing to believing.
It can't be two like-kind roads,
Well, yeah,
you know, obviously.
yeah,
Not like Mardan and Cuba or something like that, but yeah.
right.
So let me ask you this, so, because the roads are still relatively new, so let's say we did part of a road one way and, you know, with the reclamating the other not, you'd really have to go all the way out like almost 12, 15 years to see how the road, you know, handled it, right? Which road got preserved better than the other? And I don't know, that's the time period we probably have to go. And Jeff, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what you gotta look. You gotta look out many years.
We didn't do those, we didn't do that many roads that many years ago.
But I thought, didn't we hit all our newly paved roads when we started our road paving program? So they're all
Correct, yeah,
done
and,
with this.
and I say that, 2015, that's when that 15-year pavement condition study started.
Hey, Jeff, do we pave both sides of Arlington Heights Road?
Yes, both sides, everything, Thompson up to the end.
Well, I mean, I live there, but, it's a dead-end road. You could do half and half, and it's a dead-end road, so it's like, if you wanted to do a test, you got whatever it is, 3/4 of a mile of a dead-end road, so it's,
It's not gonna get as much traffic.
it's not gonna get
Yeah, so-
nearly as much traffic, though.
We have to do like Cuba and Robert Parker Common, or Cuba and Old McHenry or something.
Or a lane of each, eastbound, westbound.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, there's a little bit of a, when you do a drug study, if it's good for everybody, it's like irresponsible to not do it everywhere.
Right,
but it's-
right, no placebos in this.
Yeah, our roads are like a drug study.
You know me, I find analysis wherever. I'm in favor of doing this, but, my question is, when would it occur and how long would it take?
Go ahead, Jeff, because.
If approved, I'll talk to Corrective Asphalt Materials on their schedule. But I'm anticipating the process for all of these roads will be about a week. Because they'll come out, they'll sweep the roads, then they'll apply the reclamite, and then they put a sand layer on top of the reclamite to allow it to dry for 2 to 3 days, and then they come back and sweep it up. So that whole process for this amount of roads will take about a week.
They do all of step one in one day, roughly? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
The problem with the treatment is messy. That's the issue.
Well, if you want to
Yeah.
warn the people who have to be on
Yeah.
those roads.
It's messy, and then the sand is a little bit hazardous too, so that's the issue with it. Once it,
I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but, can you design something that can look at, like, a road that hasn't been done for X amount of years, and look at the condition, and then compare it in the future to another road with like, traffic on it, and see what the comparison is. Did that make sense?
it does make sense.
We can do that. And I also did like trustee Kritzmeyer's idea of Arlington Heights being a test strip. Of course, that would be at the village's direction if they wanted to pursue that.
No, that wasn't the point.
She was saying, look backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, test strip moving forward, but yes. moving
If
backward,
you
correct.
If you weren't going to be doing Creekside next year, I would suggest that you do Creekside and compare it to something in Country Club Estates that's already been done, that has like traffic.
Certainly.
That's what I'm suggesting.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead, Chris. Yep.
Thanks,
Trustee
Bill.
Borowski has a comment.
Yeah, just kind of couple of comments, questions. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see this line item because it wasn't too many meetings ago we approved the paving budget, right? So I was kind of thinking this should have been included at that time. So I'm a little bit surprised to see the paving budget now, this additional $56,000. Would be nice maybe in the future if we link all that together and sort of have the paving budget in one number. I do have a question. Has this been competitively bid? I mean, the material is high tech, but I can't imagine the spraying process is very rocket science-y. Have we competitively bid this 56K? Can we?
The short answer is no. The long answer is no. The Reclamite is a maltine-based pavement rejuvenator, and it's a proprietary product. Comparable products on the market that are, seal coating and things like that, which are different. They act different.
But the Reclamite's the technology, not necessarily the application, right? Or is it just one company does both? Can you get another applicator, or?
They produce it, they apply it, they don't distribute it. Distribute it meaning sell it.
Okay, understood. And just kind of my last thought on this. To me, I mean, it's important to put it on roads and extend roads and all that, but if we included it in the original paving budget, I wouldn't feel, I don't know, I wouldn't feel as bad about it. But to me, I think we could do a lot with 56 grand that we weren't expecting to spend. We could put that into the Rita Pathway Fund. We could pull some buckthorn. We could pull some diesel. We could do all kinds of things for infrastructure. And I can't interpret Bill's face. I saw Bill's facial reaction, but I don't know what that means. There you have it. I guess I don't know.
Smiling at her.
I saw Bill smile and I don't know what that meant. So there you go.
I'm just smiling at Rita. She's thinking, and she would love to have the money for pathways, Chris.
Yeah, I know, right? And that's why I'm sitting there going, what's the value trade-off here? I mean, sure, it'd be great to put this on every dang road we put up, but at some point we got to go, hey, enough in the paving budget and allocate some money to something else can we use 56K to put a little bit more floor space into a new village hall as an example?
So
I don't know. Thoughts.
I had the same conversation with Jeff this afternoon.
Where did you land?
Right?
Where did you land with it?
Because we were talking about Kruger Road as well.
Yeah, Kruger's not on the
Kruger's
list.
not on
Yeah,
it.
so that's, yeah.
And it's like, it's recommended to be applied 1 to 2 years after the road goes down. And we have been on a kind of a 3-year calendar. And I said the same thing. I said, well, we found 56 grand laying around, so there's 10 ways it could be spent. And when push comes to shove, and you come right down to it, if it lengthens the life of the road, which when we started doing it, there were legitimate studies showing that it did, where they did exactly what you're talking about with this lane, this major highway, this lane, and this lane, they didn't use it, in a similar climate. So it's like, if it lengthens the lifetime, then, it's kind of like buying the warranty policy. Do you risk it, or do you go ahead and buy the warranty policy?
Well, we think our roads have about a 15-year lifespan, so this is basically saying it adds 33%. So what's that trade-off of?
75 years.
What is the criteria? I didn't realize that North Kruger wasn't in there. And what's the criteria then for what road do you choose?
The newer ones.
Well, isn't that a newer?
Yes.
It's not 2 years though.
Well, so that was the question.
Yeah, it's not
Jeff, I
sure.
had asked, why isn't North Kruger in there when I saw it, right? So what was the main reason, Jeff?
Yeah, I was just keeping on the schedule that we had kind of established. 2018, we did the 3 previous years, 15, 16, 17. Now we're in 2022. So we did the 3 years, 18, 19, and 20. I did reach out to Corrective Asphalt and asked, what is the cost to add North Kruger? Just because I thought maybe this would come up as a discussion. It would add $18,000 to their price, bringing it to just under $75,000.
Are any other roads not included?
No, we've got everything from 18, 19, 20, and then last year was only North Kruger. I As far as roads not included, I would say no. We did repave Stemple parking lot last year, so that's also a candidate for this, for the same reclamite treatment.
So Jeff,
Theoretically, Kruger could be done when, what's the name of the community we're doing this year? 22 and 83.
Oak Creek?
No, 20, southeast corner.
I bet nobody can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oakwood,
yeah,
Oakwood? Yeah,
yes,
Oakwood,
Thank you, because those are, that's gonna be done this year.
yeah.
And theoretically, we could do Kruger when we do that. The question is, well, is it gonna cost us more, is it gonna cost us less? Should we
Well,
do it now?
that was my question, Jeff. Am I hearing you correctly that what we've been doing is aggregating a few years at a time to do a reclamite? And, I mean, is it cost so much to mobilize? Why, to Chris's point, why don't we put this in the every year road budget?
Yeah, there's an economy of scale on this. 50,000 gets you roughly 3 years of roads. So you, just like the road program itself, when we do that, we want to make a program that's appealing to contractors to recognize those economies of scale. So that's why we've been aggregating those roads and years together.
When I,
So if I'm doing my arithmetic right, next year we'll have 2 years worth of roads to do, and thereafter we'll have 1 year. Each year we'll do the previous year.
Or we'll wait.
And I'll just make a
Wait
comment.
2 years.
So
waiting.
listen, we had COVID and there was this concern about not having money to do anything, right? So, and then we went through some village manager changes too, so I don't think this was thought about with the changes that went on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now, I mean, but we do, if we're gonna do this, we need to make sure it's part of it going forward.
oh, absolutely, and to trustee Borowski's point, and to your point, President Jacob, is that when I asked about the product and then you explained to me that we had used it on roads in the past, I had gotten with Jeff, and the reason I did was a couple. I asked him to pull together the numbers, but I needed to hold off to find a place in the budget to put it. And one of my frustrations were not putting this in the budget to begin with. And there was no history on past budgets for me to look at, in recent past budgets for it to look at. So I'm just reaffirming what everybody here is saying, and trustee Borowski said, is that it should have absolutely been in the budget, and it should be going forward. Where we were able to, and one of the questions I had asked was, could MFT dollars be used for this? And Jeff explained to me that it couldn't because of the process and everything else. And so we're using capital infrastructure, Fund 30 dollars. And the reason we had money left in there was because we had some savings based on the economies of scale when we bid with Kildare and ourselves, and I think it was Ela Township on that most recent project that Aero completed. So that's why I looked at that line number to put it in there, but I wasn't sure where it was gonna go either, because we've been conservative in our budgeting approach, which we should be, and I wasn't sure where the dollars were gonna be, but.
I would just say generally, assuming that it does extend the road life by 1/3, it's money well spent. We just have to kind of trust that's the case.
And it could be longer lifetime on the roads that are used.
So let's see if we can wrap this up. So just, first off, I mean, do we want to try to do a pilot somewhere to test it? Is there a way to do that somewhere?
That's not what I suggested.
Okay,
I just want to know the results.
okay. So can we somehow, Jeff, survey our village and, I don't know, come up with a.
Design something simple,
Simple.
an old road, a new road.
Looking back,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we did the roads in Mardian, I think, were the first ones that we did years ago because they were in really poor condition. So that's easy because.
But didn't we do reclamate on them too, Jeff?
Yeah, we did.
All of them, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's an older one.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and so a couple, so,
Design it.
okay, so think about it. So I think we're getting, people want to move forward with this probably, and come back to us with some way to measure the success of it, design it as Bobby said.
Yeah, even if it's not evaluated for 12 years.
Right.
Right.
It's okay, we can do the legwork.
Okay, all right.
We'll put it on the calendar.
So does somebody want to make a motion to approve this?
Before a motion's made, Mr. President, I would say We get even a deeper discount by putting Kruger on this one if we want to do Kruger. The numbers are there that have been provided.
What's the difference?
$18,000. Oh, 2 cents, I believe, on what's the on the square yard, right? 2
So
cents.
106 to 104 or whatever.
Yes, that's correct, 106 to 104.
2%.
Now,
Does,
if we don't want to do Kruger, then we would approve the quote that's before the board now. The numbers for Kruger came in later than we put together the board packet and the
Yeah.
agenda. So we could, if the board wants to approve Kruger, we could approve them all. Approve the 3 that are there and authorize me to proceed in including the other one and ratify that at the next board meeting. Just because it's not on the agenda and a dollar amount is on the agenda.
Is it just easier to approve what we have tonight? And Jeff, there's no risk in waiting on Kruger, right?
No, we won't miss the window to put it on there, no.
So you guys
Okay.
Will
decide.
we miss the discount if we don't put in a consolidated order with them?
Well, so what is that gonna save us for, total? 2%, right? So what is that, $1,400, not even? I don't know.
Yeah, the percent on there is just over $1,100.
$1,500. It'll pay you for a month's bill.
we could have a really good dinner.
All right, so whoever wants to make a motion,
A motion to approve the existing.
the existing, okay. Anyone want to second it?
Second.
Okay, so moved by trustee O'Reilly, seconded by trustee O'Connor, the proposal that we have before us, the motion to approve that.
Trustee O'Reilly.
Aye.
Trustee O'Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Borowski.
No.
Trustee Kritzmeyer.
Aye.
Trustee Micho.
Aye.
Trustee Finucci.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. All right, now the thing that everyone here has been waiting for, I think. There's an agenda item here for discussion and consideration and approval. Community grant application for Brothers Field. It's in relation to the Christmas in July event that's coming up this weekend. So I don't know if Village Manager Jackson wants to take us through that and then some comments.
The Metro North firm who runs Brothers Field asked if they could put in for a community building grant based on past award grants for events that bring the community together. This Christmas in July includes a number of activities that have happened in past years, except for the Christmas with Felicity movie, which will be shown, I believe, twice on one night and one on another evening. But everything else has been practices from the past. So they are asking for a grant in the amount of $1,983, which is 50% of their expense they're anticipating and incurring for the event. I have made a recommendation. Let me go back and state that there will be a number of vendors that are going to be involved in this function that are in our downtown historic business district, to include vendors that are service providers, not necessarily food vendors. So there are a number of vendors that will be participating in this. However, based on...
Can I just, so it was Joni's Pizzeria, Ma Pa's Candy, Signature Popcorn, Country House, Enzo Lucia's, In Motion Dance, Landmark Exteriors, and the Village Tavern. Did I get them all right? Okay.
So the grants being requested based on the premise of a community building opportunity. I have made a recommendation to deny the grant, and my recommendation is solely based on the fact that in the previous awarding of a grant to the LCSO, we had language in the resolution on processes and how grants would be awarded. And when the village board awarded that grant to LCSO, what the village board didn't do at that time was make any amendments to the resolution, the language of the resolution. So in the interest of equity and consistency, I felt it incumbent upon myself to turn around and make that same recommendation.
Any comments from the board?
What's the money actually used for? What are the expenses we're talking about?
Some of it's for staff. I'm getting to it, 1 second.
So they wrote down tractor gas, $50, live music, there's a band, $750. The cost to put the show on, the Christmas with Felicity, $1,000.
Well, that's what is charged.
What?
That's what's charged.
Yeah, but I think this all adds up to the total. They're split,
Right,
they're asking for
right.
half of it.
But what I mean is, it's not, is that money you have to pay to run the movie? Or is that what you're charging for people to see the movie?
No, there's no charge to see it.
For the movie.
I'm wondering where the $1,000 number comes from. Do you have to pay the producer $1,000 to have the movie? Or is this something that the vendor wants to earn for showing the movie?
The vendor wanting the $1,000 for hosting the venue.
Okay.
And then it
And
continues,
then
yeah, go ahead.
there's take up and take down.
Clean up, staff to welcome people to have, $170 for that, $216 for cleanup. Coordinator, they have to pay, people to coordinate this, $287. Yeah, then the setup and takedown staff, the porta potties, I guess, right, for the bathrooms. Tractor tours. The total amount is $3,906, estimated expenses were $3,966, and they're asking, for us to pay half of that.
I have questions.
Please ask.
Does the HDL-GPA contribute anything to this, do we know?
Jesse, do you know?
Did anybody ask them?
They're not participants at all.
Was this open to all of the merchants in the downtown, and these are the only people who? Okay.
I think so.
Anybody that wanted to participate was free to, and some that aren't listed there, like a lot of the retail shops are gonna be running sales, and they're gonna put a little Christmas in July special. So they may not be like directly involved at the event in Rutherford, but the whole town is trying to celebrate at the same time to make it bigger. We're gonna decorate a few of the light posts with the Christmas thing,
We really need to bust out like this, we have a promotion group, if you will, HDLGBA, and we have a village, and we have individual businesses taking it upon themselves to try and say, kumbaya, let's get everybody together. It seems confusing.
Well, I kind of think we dug ourselves a hole when we gave money to the orchestra. And I don't know about you, but when I saw that we were contributors, as was someone else, and we gave 75% of it, and they gave 25% of it, didn't set well. But the individuality of a business versus the HDL-GBA, it kind of exists and has to. Because, first of all, the HDL-GBA, they are so busy, they can't catch their tail. They're so busy. They try, but they aren't. And so.
Are you being facetious, or are you?
No, they are very busy. I mean, they're adding people, employees, they're changing things, they've got, one festival after another. So they're really busy, and they're all volunteers.
Okay.
They don't have a staff to say, do this and do that, most of the work. So, but what Jesse does is totally different at most of the time than what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how it works.
Okay, it's still confusing. I'm not saying there's bad intention or bad, it's just.
No, I totally agree with you. But I also think that, for our future, I don't know how this vote is gonna go, but for our future, I think we have to clarify some things about how we do this grant money.
Absolutely, and we had a very clear picture until this year. And in my opinion, I was extremely disappointed when they gave me a program at that venue, and the benefactors were not highlighted.
Right.
You know, and it's like, okay, you know, can't put the toothpaste back.
Done.
Can't,
Done.
you know, yeah, whatever. But, you know, I think it's a very creative idea. I think it's really, it's brilliant. It's really cute.
I told them it was a dumb idea when we first started. What was it anyways?
Well, you know.
But I will tell you that this Christmas in July thing is going to be bigger next year.
And I hope so. I hope everything we do grows. My question and my concerns are, the precedent, again, that I'm glad it was open to everybody, you know, and I know what it's like, because I've gone soliciting from business to business for different things over the years. You always get some who, you know, they're right there with you, and the other ones are like, oh.
I said no.
Well, whatever. I just, you know, I think for me, if you could put a pencil to some of these numbers, and I know they're kind of guesstimates, I get it, but if you use the word volunteer and you pay them, you sort of, it contradicts, like, it doesn't go together. They're either paid, they're being paid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are employees, like, when we put out a movie, we've got West Side Story coming up, they get paid to raise the screen, bring it down, set up the sound system, projectors, direct the seating. So that's a crew that does it every movie night that we have. It's just, there's no income or sponsor for this one like there is the other movies.
So how do you make money on this?
On this?
Drinks? I mean,
Yeah, the tiki bar would make it on the drinks, but the movie, generally the movies, they sell sponsorship or tickets.
Okay.
To cover the expenses.
And how much are tickets if I want to see the movie?
They were all free this year. They've actually been sponsored. Up until this one, this was an additional one. We had originally 5 nights picked for the summer, and those sponsors had covered the cost, the same $1,000 per movie that we requested here. So those are numbers that we've done. We've been visiting our Facebook page, have you?
No, I'm not a big Facebooker. No.
It's Andy Hausman,
Andy Hausman.
Andy Hausman, the Hausman team, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a realtor.
Okay.
You have anything else? Because I see Chris Borowski went off of mute.
I can hold my peace for whatever.
Okay,
You know,
Chris, did you have any comments? You look like you were ready to comment.
No, I was just focusing my face into my nice forward lighting here. So, no, I'm good.
Well done on Zoom, sir.
Thank you. I'm just like trying to get the lighting right, you know?
All right, Trustee Michaud, you're been awfully quiet. I'm going to pull you into this conversation.
I think it's a great event. I like that it's capitalizing on a film that, I mean, just when we had a bunch of high school kids come in, they were interested in where the shots were filmed, and I think it has the potential to be a big event. So I know that there are parts of the grant ordinance that are a little, I'm not quite sure I understand why this doesn't qualify. I think it has to do with who's getting paid, but I think it does kind of embody what we're wanting a grant to do, and that's bring people into the downtown for an event and incorporate more parts of the village. So I'm for it.
All right, thank you for that. We did not hear from Trustee Tanucci.
So I know this board has supported Brothers Field on everything we wanted to do, and so do I. As you all know, I did not support the grant to the symphony orchestra because it violated the violated the rules of the community grant program. My struggle is, I want to support Brothers Field, I want to do what's right, don't wanna take two identical, nearly identical questions and vote one way on one and one way on the other. So just my own conscience, I feel like I can't support it, and it's nothing personal.
Thank you.
This feels like it's similar to other movies, but you need a sponsor. What if we were the $1,000 sponsor?
I don't know, that'd be a Jesse's question. Can you make it work?
I mean, in coming from here, like, we don't wanna back anybody into a corner, you know, obviously with the previous grant, it's kind of, okay, we got a shot, but at the same time, we would much rather put something together that falls in the guidelines that it was intended. I don't think it's that far off from what the use was, so we're okay with that. We just figured we'd, you know, present it because it's much more community than the last one that had been, but, we're really fine. We're not gonna take away your parade or anything if it doesn't work out. We'll find something that does, you know, but if we can get, like, feedback and let us know, hey, if you do this, then that would fall in, like, a little guidance on what we could structure for future. I think we could really do something with that space. We really do try, as you see, to use it as a community space more than a private lot, so that is the goal.
You know what would be interesting is to use our long overdue polling software, I mean, certainly.
Oh, yeah, let's do that between now and Saturday.
No, but seriously, like, make figuring out the community grant a community event. You know, like, invite, either with the polling or with a live meeting and say, hey, we'd like to find some way. This is what we did. We're running into trying to put toothpaste back because we're not sure we used it the right way. Wouldn't it be an interesting thing to say, let's hold a community grant brainstorming session, idea session, design session at some point this month?
And that might help us to solidify where this grant should go.
Yeah.
But we need to deal with this.
I understand that. I'm putting another to-do on the list in the next few months. I know that.
Right. Okay. I think it's a great idea.
So, and you had another comment, you said?
Well, I just, you know, I'm glad, I thank you, I appreciate that you itemized all this. 5 bathrooms, maybe too many?
Oh, no.
No.
Okay.
Okay. It's like socks, there's never too many.
Maybe you don't a lot of beer, okay.
Sorry.
You know, it seems like some of this stuff could be done by true volunteers. You know, it's like, so why create all this overhead? I don't get it. You know, I don't think you did, but it kind of looks like some things were fattened up in order to make the break even different.
There's
I don't know.
a solution.
I just, go ahead, what?
Solution to that is make it reimbursable like other grants, like we turn around and do with our highway or our transportation grants. When the project's over, we'll do reimbursables based off of the receipts.
I'd like to see us do that in the future. But the thought of doing it now, I just, in my heart, I can't say no to them when I said yes to the other.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't work well. And they might have, right, exactly. And they could even have a pretend parade.
So,
I'll get my Santa hat out.
I can't hear you.
I would like a moratorium until we get it figured out.
Good idea.
Because I'm tired of this. I'm sick of it. You know, I see, we're not the EDC. I don't care how busy HCLGBA is. You know, it should be, in my opinion, what I know about it, it should be part of that. And maybe not, okay, you know, you can educate me better on that for the future. I think it's a great idea. I think it's really cute. I think it's very creative.
so can we, can we do this first, and if there's some action to do a moratorium, can we do that second? Okay.
Can we do
Just
a
as a
motion
comment.
to the 1900?
Yeah, so somebody want to make a motion?
I did.
Okay, so motion approved by trustee O'Reilly. Oh, Chris, yep.
Yeah, Bill,
Trustee
sorry,
Borowski?
thanks. The lighting's not so good anymore. a community grant program, in my opinion, is not to put people into downtown Long Grove. It's to be used for the entire community in its entirety, not just putting people into downtown. Just that's kind of how I feel about that point that Trustee Michaud made. If this was a screening in Lemon Hill ballparks where it's not attached to a private business, I'm all for it. I don't think it's right for us to put money into this to basically finance what is really kind of a semi-private enterprise. So yeah, I'm not in favor of this at all.
All right, thanks, Trustee Borowski, for your opinion.
What if it was on the Park District property?
We couldn't get electric.
Couldn't have beer.
Okay, but I get it, but the community grant money is not to fund a tiki bar either.
Okay, so we have a live motion. Does anyone want to second it?
Second.
Okay,
Same consistency reasons.
you got, it was moved by Trustee O'Reilly, seconded by Trustee Kritzmeyer, and that's a roll call.
Trustee O'Reilly.
Aye.
Trustee Kritzmeyer.
Aye.
Trustee Borowski.
No,
Trustee Michaud.
Aye.
Trustee O'Connor. And Trustee Tanucci.
No.
So do I need to break a tie here, or do we have it with the abstain?
We have three yes.
If Trustee
and
I didn't hear Trustee O'Connor's vote. If she abstained, that goes with
Yeah.
the majority of those voting and it would pass.
Yeah, so it passed. That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. Yep, that's what I thought. I don't have to vote. Motion carries.
Okay,
Can we take action on this idea, or do we have to put that on the agenda? It seems it should be on an agenda for next meeting.
The moratorium action, well, first of all, in order to take action, you've got to be able to do it on the agenda. It's got to.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
But I would concur with I concurs not, I.
Board?
Now, we turn around and last board meeting when the LCSO grant came up and it got approved, what didn't get approved, in fact, it was voted down by the board, was the changing of the language. And the only reason I bring it up is to put staff, when they're making decisions based on ordinances and resolutions that the board passed, in a difficult situation, because we're recognizing what the community building is, and it should be Long Grove wide, and it's so it just puts us in a little bit of a difficult spot. Me in particular, and I don't mind that, but you know, I want to make sure that we're consistent in what we do and what the board's direction is based on policy that they passed. That being said, I would ask, as Trustee O'Reilly had said, we really need to revisit this in the moratorium that you suggested, Trustee O'Connor, because I've already put language together on an amendment so we can talk about what's operating expenses and what's not operating expenses and what makes sense, and for the board's approval, and and change any way you want. But yeah, it's tough sitting in the seat, and though this is a community building function, but yeah, it not according to what we say in the processes that the board approved 2 or 3 years ago.
I mean, if we wanted to put some sort of a public input session on the calendar.
If the board's okay,
I can help. I facilitate.
The motion for the moratorium,
Especially, but.
put the moratorium on the agenda for the next board agenda.
and add the consideration of, I forget what you call, where you pay them later after they've expended.
Reimbursable.
Yeah. Add that as a consideration too. I'm not sure it's a good idea, but we should consider it. Do the whole package.
So if the board's comfortable with that, I'd like to do that.
Because I'm up to here with all of this, yes, no, maybe, well, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, and what are the rubrics here?
And it's partly our fault,
Fair.
if not all our fault.
We have a big shovel.
All right, so it'll be on the agenda at the next meeting unless there's any objections.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to keep ourselves moving here. There you go. Have a great event. I'm gonna go ahead and.
Bill, Rita, your feet are tangled up in that cord, and it worries me that you would stand up and fall down. Okay, thank you.
So we have the village president and trustee reports. I'll start with mine. I wanted to, let's see if I can do this effectively. I'm gonna try to share my screen, for my report. See if I can do that. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
So there was a Route 53 task force meeting on Monday from 11 to 12, and it was put on the docket very short notice. And the purpose was to get local and municipal community interest in Route 53 right away. So input, right, yeah. And I scrambled to put a presentation together on Sunday. I done good, okay. And so what I did was I put this deck together where I kind of showed, and my picture's in the way here, if I can move it out of the way, where I showed.
Is there a way to turn these lights off, this row? And I'm wondering if what?
There you go.
Look at how much better that is.
I don't know, I'm gonna take a nap now, but anyways, just like in kindergarten, nap time. So basically what I did is, these are the Route 53 IDOT-owned parcels here, and kind of the route. And what I did was Greg had this drafted that showed our zoning and the Route 53 right-of-way. This is actually Hawthorne Woods. And then I also layered in our comprehensive plan, because we have two sub-areas that are in the Route 53 right-of-way. So then I further explained, this is up north, this is North Long Grove, this is by the fire station up here, Walgreens and everything, 83 in Midlothian. And I showed how, basically we've got some commercial over here, residential, we always have green space, wetlands and so forth that we're preserving, and I just want to make sure everyone knew this was our plan for the property, including the train station, if one could be built there down here in the corner. It's in our comprehensive plan. So I went ahead and did that. And then the next thing I did was the same thing for down by Lake Cook Road and the Menards. I showed the soccer field down there, these wetlands and everything, and the fact that, we are looking for some more commercial development in this area. And then, over here, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is the parcels IDOT owns that kind of match to this over here. So I just want to make sure everybody knew that, this is what we had identified or planned for the property. And then I went into, the priorities, and I said, number one priority was protecting as much as possible the groves of trees, our namesake, wetlands, natural habitats. Number two, if we can do a green space for biking, a walking path, and I threw in even, golf carts.
Go from south to north in this village, I'd be super happy.
Super happy, right? And then I said third most important thing was just preserving our underlying zoning, including the proposed land uses that we have in our comprehensive plan. Number four, the potential commuter train station along the CNR railroad tracks. Now, I went after Rhett Taylor and then Mayor Lentz, and so this was the odd thing that got thrown into that, is they threw in, they wanted IDOT to remain in control of that property, and maybe have the IDNR lease it back. And it got really weird. So when I got... It could be used for recreation until they needed it for a road. So they were very clear that that's what they, and Len said, hey, my town's on the fence. There's some people that want 53s, some don't, and development could occur and we may need it. So I don't want to give that up. So I literally, when I started, I said, I made it clear that we would not want IDOT to maintain control of the property. This has been going on since the 50s, 60s. It's been going on forever. Let's put this to an end. And I said, I even concluded saying the same thing. Dominic DiMaggio, current Hawthorne Woods mayor, got on. He echoed what I said. No, this land, you know, it needs to be taken out of IDOT's control. We need to, you know, Greenway, train station, Hawthorne Woods loves that idea. That would be neat up there. And, you know, absolutely agree with, Mayor Jacob. And then Senator Bush came back on and she literally said, you know, the purpose of the task force was not to decide, if it should be used for a road or not. The purpose of the task force was to basically say, is to study the cost, feasibility, and environmental impact of alternative uses of the expansion land, including any potential impact on flooding in the area, the short-term and long-term economic impact of the region, and all options for funding and alternative uses. So she redirected everyone, and then I guess Barbara Clip kind of pulled up the letter where they signed on to making this a green space and everything else. So it got a little contentious. It was kind of interesting. And you were there, right? So.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I had no idea the Texan that was going on.
Yeah, we were surprised. We didn't know what was going to come up. So they got together and did that. And so I'm actually tomorrow going to be meeting with Dominic DiMaggio too. So I'll be talking to him tomorrow. So.
See if they've got any,
Yes. So it was an odd meeting, but I think it got redirected, put back to what the purpose of it was, and I just thought I would share.
And so the purpose was to explore alternative uses and understand wetlands and so forth. So who is the audience?
This is the task force. So we're supposed to come back, you know, the task force must meet 4 times, and a written recommendation must be provided by 12/31/22.
Okay.
So the Pritzker, right? So this is the audience here is just the task force.
Gotcha, thank you.
Was there any intention of others trying to direct it towards IDOT?
I mean, the other 2 mayors?
No, was it pre-planned?
I think that there might have been a conversation, yes, on their side, yeah.
Like they may be studying together?
Yeah. I don't know the answer to that, though. I can't say that. I didn't.
Well, sometimes it's just instinctive,
Yeah,
yeah.
There were several phrases that were identical.
yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
So anyways, I thought, you know, I made the point, right? So,
Very nicely. You were very, very strong. We will not support.
oh, I guess I did get a little stronger, didn't I? I was aggravated when I heard that. I was just, yeah.
Good. No ambiguity there, how we feel, that's good.
who writes the report?
It's this, we're not, but I don't know if it's Dan Lewis, but it'll be a collective effort. But we don't write it. That's a good question. Who's actually gonna put the pen to paper? It's not Dan Lewis. I know, somebody from the state.
He probably would sign it, but I don't know.
Because he who controls the language.
Well, Senator McConkey was in that meeting,
Yeah.
and Dan did it too.
Yeah, I don't know how it gets written. That's a good question. I guess we'll ask the question. Who actually writes it? I don't know. Oh. End of report. Thank you. We'll keep us moving. Trustee Borowski, do you have a report?
No official report, but I do want to congratulate the Burbank American 15 to 16-year-old Little League team for winning the state championship. League President Joe Borowski and his son, Matt Borowski, who is the manager of the team, are currently representing the state of Illinois in the regional championships down in Peru, with the hope to finish this tournament and represent the state of Illinois in the championship in North Carolina. So just want to congratulate Joe and Matt. Yep. Thank you.
Outside baseball.
There must be
No.
some really proud relatives. Congrats.
All right, thanks, Chris, for that. Trustee Kritzmeyer.
A quick one, just update. We talked about refinancing the funds for the Route 83 water SSA, and depending on where that came in, given interest rates and cost of refinancing, we're waiting to find out kind of what the legal cost would be. Bond counsel, the legal cost that she was estimating is about $10,000 higher than the bank had originally estimated, and that doesn't include Vic. Vic came back with an email with a note. Vic, you want to put a ceiling on that? Would you actually put that as a max? But the number, anyway, it would basically say the overall savings that we're looking at right now is somewhere on the order of $30,000 on a $1 million bond.
I could pay for a recliner.
Well, I'm just going to say, we're not taking action, but, you know, if you want to have some discussion or send some direction, given all the other things on Greg's plate, because this is part of the conversation we had earlier, like, is this the best and highest
Yeah.
use of staff time? And we're not taking action, we don't have, but there's is this the best and highest use of staff time or not?
And you might want to remind the board that that was based on an interest rate that would be subject to change once we've gone through the process, if the markets have changed. So it's likely only going to be narrower of a margin than what Ann just outlined.
Yeah, if the bank would propose structuring this as a loan, so it's a little less subject to market, but it absolutely is subject to market rate. So the question I have, and it's not something I've pursued in a big way, but is that the best and highest use of our staff time, given everything else that we want them to do? Candidly, if we had development on South 15, that would pay for itself in one EAV, so.
Well,
I'm not saying,
if we
you
were
know, I don't-
fully staffed, it'd be one thing.
yeah, you know, I mean, I can help do a lot of stuff, but it's gonna be staff time.
We
It's
wouldn't
gonna
have to
be
pay you?
No, we haven't paid me yet. Not even a good dinner.
Want bad dinner?
So if you wanna mull on that, but that's right now, you know, the savings would be about $30,000 and shrinking. It would be the likely direction.
And it, depending on your close, it could even be less if interest rates keep.
That's the and shrinking part, yep.
Yeah, okay.
And the other side of it is, election years always look pretty good. And post-election years don't always look the same. So if that happens again, there's a good chance that on the downside, you're gonna be in the same spot or maybe better.
Meaning rates. Yeah.
If we don't have a soft landing.
I invite any of you, if you wanna let me or Greg know your thoughts on it, but that's just, we can move forward. The bank would be ready to do all of that. We've got some estimates in there. It's just out of all the things, that's what we're looking at, you know. When we redid the one for the Sunset Grove, that was savings of $400,000, so 10x, 12x.
When do you want an answer?
Next board meeting.
I guess in time to put it on the agenda for the next board meeting.
My inclination would be no.
Okay.
I agree.
Why don't we just go around the horn here?
Talking big money.
We got 2 no's. Kent?
I'm not sure I completely understand what we're asking, right, what we're being.
We're looking to refinance debt. This is debt that for an SSA that is currently paying 7 3/4. I can't remember, 7.5, 750 or 775. Okay, to refinance, you have to pay banks to do things like that. Current rate, the calculus or the analysis is done on refinancing down to 5%. To do that, though, you still have to pay attorneys and pay the folks to refinance. The net of all of that, our estimate or the analysis right now is the savings of, at this point with the new, more valid legal things on it, a savings of $30,000 to $32,000 at an interest rate of 5%. So for $30,000 to $32,000, is that something we want to have the staff and or, you know, unpaid Ann, go forward on? Or would we rather that our staff do other things?
Well, and then you have that's the opportunity cost portion of it, right? So, but secondly, what happens if interest rates keep going? Because they're supposed to be raised again, right? So.
I might, if I might
Go ahead,
add one other thing, this is a special service area, so that $30,000 savings, and I don't want to be dismissive of any savings for taxpayers, but that's not going to be savings on the village budget. That's going to be just savings on those commercial properties that are the backers of the special service area.
That's true. Like we did for Heron's Landing. That the Heron's Landing refinance did not save the village, that saved Heron's Landing residents.
Well, this one where
But those were residential, these are commercial. I don't know if that makes a difference to the board, but I think it's an important point to make nonetheless.
Well, I wouldn't diminish the value of that to the business owners. obviously, you know, if we can help them, we can help them. But I think making a big picture decision with, is it a good time to do this or is it not? It's like, it's just sort of so-so.
Well, yeah, can you
Yeah.
actually wait? And, I mean,
Yeah, our first opportunity was, I think, 11 months ago or a year ago. We could have done it last year, but we did not have staff last year at all to do this. So, yes, we can do it anytime moving forward.
If, you know, if there's a,
Can you reevaluate in, say, a month?
We could ask-
Does the number change?
We could ask the bank, yes, we definitely could. You know, it would be
Yeah.
the lawyers aren't gonna get any cheaper.
No.
I would think after the first of the year, though. I saw a headline today, and it was a legitimate publication about interest rates falling. I didn't get to read.
I mean.
Oh, yeah, and
to
we're not in a
Rita's point-
recession either.
Yeah, to Rita's point, it probably would be more valuable to look at it in 6 months,
Okay,
You know,
that
after,
makes sense too.
after November, you know, kind of,
just want to pull in our virtual attendees,
please.
Chris and Jenny. Do you have any comments here?
I think we should just wait.
Thanks, Jenny.
I agree.
Chris?
No, I agree. Doesn't seem like bang for buck is there right now.
Okay, got direction?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, trustee Michaud. Oh, did you have anything else? I'm sorry.
No, we have one other thing, but that's, fodder for executive session.
Okay, all right. Trustee Michaud.
So I don't know if you explored my file and saw the grant proposal that. So I was hoping that you had all had a chance to read it so what I would like, or what Greg and I and the intern and Natalie and Jeanette Berger have been pulling together this grant to help solve, you know, in Long Grove, we have these conservancy easements and they're not being maintained. And as an incentive to kind of help our residents educate themselves and maintain them properly, we'd kind of like to set up this grant, or I'm proposing we set up this matching grant program where you can apply up to, I think the final number that we've kind of settled on, but obviously this is open to suggestions, would be $500 to $2,000. The grant budget for the year would be $20,000. And people could submit an application. I think we would hope to get the Conservancy, Jeanette Berger and another person involved to go out and evaluate the sites and make recommendations to the board to approve the grants. And then nobody would get paid until the, sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, no, there's just some chatter here. Just keep going. Don't
Okay.
mention to the people in the room. They're with you.
Nobody would get paid until they, you know, we'd done an after analysis to make sure that the work had been done and to a satisfaction, to our satisfaction. And then, so that's it in a nutshell. And Greg, I'm probably missing something, but it's pretty easily and clearly spelled out in the proposal.
I think what, when I drafted the grant proposal based off the information received from, again, Natalie and our intern, we had Jeanette Berger look at it because of her experience with the CSCC, and she's pretty excited about it, thinks it's an opportunity not only for her Conservancy Commission to get involved, but also to offer their expertise. That being said, what we're asking right now of the board is to look at the grant as it's submitted to you now, make any comments or adjustments you think are relevant to it, and also including dollars, if you think the dollars are too low, too high, whatever it may be, so we can bring back a draft for the board's further discussion and an ultimate consideration for approval. So we're asking for input
Don't hate me, Jenny, but I would write the objectives in lower grade language. I mean that.
that was Greg writing it. Sorry.
Pardon me?
That was Greg writing.
Sorry, Greg. I would write it in lower grade language, like easier to,
Dummy.
I think that,
yeah.
Yeah.
I like
it's
the,
a fabulous idea.
I like that the money comes after the job is done and evaluated, it's not upfront. My request would be that we, and I'm not saying this is necessarily the case, but that we don't limit it to garlic, mustard, buckthorn, and Canada thistle.
No,
Specifically.
no, that was just, we're kind of highlighting, those seem to be like what the biggest problem, but as a corresponding literature, there's the Morton Arboretum and the University of Illinois has come out with a pretty great resource. And Greg, I need to send it to you. That's updated from the one that you sent me that lists much more of the invasives that we're hoping to address.
I would strongly recommend naming Phragmites and teasel. Actually put those words in here.
And pictures, because people don't know, you say
And
Fred
pictures.
Money, they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was just having a discussion with my neighbor about teasel, and she didn't know what it was.
And we know,
They think Fred Money is pretty.
and we know from past meetings.
They do.
Trustee Borowski's expressed his concern about the buckthorn and how it looks and how our sites look. And, so this will also help to, address some of those issues as well.
Does Chris want to say anything?
Chris wants to say, I haven't read the proposal and I don't know why that is. So I don't know where it is actually.
It's under my trustee report. It's in my file.
Okay, on the drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
It's good, I like it a lot.
I'm glad to see it.
Refresh, I did read this. Are we educating people at the same time or prior to, during? So they know what to do, and how to do it?
That hasn't been added to it, but that was Jeanette Berger's suggestion as well.
Yeah.
And if we could reduce it to a video that they could, hit at 1:00 in the morning or whatever, just to get them started, you know what I mean? It's like, that would be nice.
Can you put it on the website?
There you
But
go.
that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Pictures of these things.
And there might be.
Pictures are good.
DNR as well,
Yes.
and I'm sure they've got plenty of resources on things.
So are you looking for just direct feedback? So I mean, to continue flushing it out a little bit and then present this to the board for
Exactly.
Yeah.
potential approval?
Like the idea, more education. Do you really want to give priority to more matching or to things that have more public-facing opportunity?
I think that's the board's
What is that?
decision.
Well, because it says residential.
Dumb
and-
it down for me.
So eligibility is residents, businesses, and homeowner associations, okay? I got buckthorn in my backyard, I could apply, but nobody else can see it. I would give priority to public facing.
Yeah, that would be the decision-making of this.
But right now, it's saying it's based on amount of money matched. I would
Yeah.
say I'd lean towards public
See it,
facing.
but if it's not treated, everybody's gonna see it.
Right.
I understand that, but in terms of like priorities, I was just saying I'd add that as a,
This could also be community volunteerism as well for,
yeah.
once you teach people and, they see results and, hey, this is not all of them, but a core group is gonna say, this is really cool, where's some more? And I think it'd be like the old days, maybe, where you get groups that, say there's a senior citizen or whatever, and there are groups who on Saturdays or good weather days, or whatever, say, I volunteer my time, tell me where to be and I'll help you out. It's possible, you could do that.
I picked up a little piece of information today. Do you know that the Rotary Club of Long Grove, Hawthorne Woods, Killdeer is working with the Park District on teasel?
Along Grove Park District?
No, yeah,
Park District.
yeah,
Rotary,
yeah.
that's fabulous.
I was stunned. Yeah.
Why doesn't the world know that?
Well, I haven't told them yet. I'm starting now. I just happened to read it online because I'm in the process of gathering any organization that functions in Long Grove. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna use it, but my picture is in a newsletter showing all of the different organizations including the village, and how you go about getting involved.
Something you should know.
Things, yeah, like that. Yeah, that if you want to join the Historical Society, here's how you do it, and what they do, and when they do it, and that kind of thing. And so, I had forgotten about the Rotary, and Sherry suggested, and yeah, they're working on people.
God bless them.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and the report, Jenny?
And maybe we could get funding from properties that have a ton of this stuff, like.
Well, I've got an answer for that.
Yeah, so, and the report, Jenny?
End of report.
Okay, now, you have some time, do you have anything for your report? You're next.
I know I am.
I don't know who I am, who are you?
Actually.
Trustee O'Connor, do you have anything for us?
Um,
Ask Village President Jacob.
no,
Nothing?
no, I don't, I did, but and it has indeed slipped my mind because I was going all over mentally with.
There's a lot of that.
I know.
All right, we can come back if you need to. All right, so Trustee O'Reilly.
Okay, I didn't know that this was, coming up about the various noxious plants. But if you saw in next door, ComEd has goats.
Really?
Really?
For lease?
Well, Greg's working on it.
I didn't understand what you said, comment?
Goats
Goats.
eat stuff.
Oh, goats, okay.
Goats,
They're really doing that?
yes.
It's
And
probably way more effective than people.
it's the best thing in the world. Well, that's what I suggested first off, is do the power lines.
Yeah.
But the really best part of the information I've found is that when I brought this up years ago, it was the big fences that would have to be moved around and stabilized for the safety of the goats. Now they're training them on electrical fences.
Yeah.
Just as my dog, my dogs live with
I know.
those
I know.
kinds of fences, and they're very easy to move. And so, I mean, Greg's got a big job, that's why I don't want to do this refinancing. He's got to get into this goat business.
Aren't you glad that's a good job? Don't you just go to bed?
I think Buddha every night.
Eagle Ridge and Galena actually used goats, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
They use goats all over the place. What
On the golf
stops,
courses this year.
There's a lady up near you who owns goats,
yes, right across the street.
a little farm.
Yeah, right across the street. But they, and what's interesting about a goat, they eat everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And except they don't eat big buckthorn. So you have to do the little buckthorn for them. So anyway.
Trimmed it. What if we trimmed it first?
What, say they,
What if we trimmed the buckthorn first?
well, there's an idea. But it's got potential. If they're using goats. And I think that picture was on the beach in Chicago, don't you think?
Yeah,
That picture? So,
it was interesting.
The one in next door you're talking about, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah, I saw it too. So I was trying to find it here, I couldn't find it now.
You're on a different,
No, but it was on mine too.
yeah, but you're on a different feed than.
Oh,
Well-
that's right, you are, yeah. Bobby and I are the same.
yeah, I lost it once. And then a couple of days later, I saw it again. But anyway, so that's what we're working on, our goats.
Anything else besides goats for your?
No,
I remember. I attended a webinar this past week called Show Me the Money, about the grants. It was an hour packed with, 4 different agencies telling, we could probably get grants for all of this. Just because after I listened to the third of 4 speakers on this thing, I thought, they said, you can even put in landscaping. You know, as long as it meets this parameter and that parameter, they can give and stuff like that. Millions.
Grant Finder IML has a lot of listings of monies that are available. It's finding being able to research it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a replay of this one, and they've got like a part two coming up. It's
Happy to take a look at it.
the Cook County, consortium they put together. It's fabulous.
The HDLGVA Park just got a 10,000 grant
That's a beautiful
from,
by the way.
where did they come in? Yeah.
That's great. That's super. It's really very, very attractive. They did a
Oh,
nice job.
yeah, yeah.
Covered Bridge Park?
And that was, Deering, I think, who, Deering, I think, helped them put that.
So you'll share some of the information you learned? No, okay, you won't. Trustee Tanucci, you're next.
I just have a quick question and then one other thing. We were asked to send comments about the invasive plant program. Who do we send those
Send it to
comments?
me. Me and Jenny.
Okay. And then we had planned to give an update on virtual inspections. Margarita's been sick and on vacation, so I'll have to defer that to hopefully the next meeting.
Anything else?
That's it?
Village manager report?
I will have a list of all the assignments that, all the projects we're working on, so that way the board can see and then prioritize where they believe is appropriate as well. Just some quick things. You got a quote to take care of the graffiti that happened again under the tunnel. It's about $5,000 to take care of it.
Why didn't they use that paint?
It's the paint it's a different paint that these people use. The gentleman came in and he said he hasn't seen anything like this in what he did. I'm also looking at gates for both ends of the tunnel to potentially, just to get pricing, to have the discussion about closing off the ends of the tunnel perhaps at dusk and then opening them at dawn. Part of the concern there that I would communicate, and the sheriff's department shared the same concern, is that this graffiti didn't happen overnight. It happened over probably a couple days, and to the extent that it exists, how come no resident or anybody else reported it? It took government to find it and, identify it. So if people are using that tunnel, you would have to believe that somebody would have raised a flag, but nobody said anything. So we're wondering.
Extensive. Did any of you see pictures?
No.
It was floor, ceiling, walls for feet on end. I mean, it was covered for probably, 60 linear feet?
It was probably one of the worst graffitis acts of graffitis I've seen outside Chicago.
Who uses that?
Where did they get that kind of?
No.
The people.
Oakwood subdivision there.
They go under 83 from one subdivision to the other, runners.
It's a hilltop subdivision.
It's part of a path?
Yeah, it's part of a pathway, yeah.
Children,
Yeah.
have little buddies on either side, and they.
Oh, I can't see a little kid being bit.
No, I mean, little bikers, who uses it are children and the adults.
That's why maybe dusk to dawn may be a good time period to close the sides.
I still think we're gonna have to somehow get to those residents in the area to find out what they know about it. Are they using it?
Cameras?
Cameras we're looking at too.
We have wireless cameras.
Yeah.
We're looking at.
Catch those.
So Jenny, do you have something?
Jenny's friend, she has a friend who uses it frequently. And
Oh, she does, okay.
Brian on my pathway, because he uses it all the time.
Okay, so we do have people who use it. That's what I was trying to figure out. How come no one's saying anything to us? Yeah, about the date.
And yet nobody speaks up.
Right. The RPC bridge, we corrected we took care of the graffiti on the bridge, and now we're looking at solutions for the rocks underneath the bridge that had graffiti put across it. Audit is still underway. ARPA quarterly reporting was taken care of. Just to make the board aware, we're finding ourselves dealing with an extensive number of code enforcement issues that are disputes between neighbors that are leaving where our partners in Mundelein feel they can't address them anymore, that they're referring them up to us here at Village Hall. So we've been spending a significant amount of time addressing those. I have personally. The last thing is...
Before we move on, so the audit, did everyone get a questionnaire?
Yeah.
So I think we all have to fill that out, so it came this week. I just want to make sure everyone saw it in your email. you're gonna get a questionnaire that's gonna,
The answer's not everyone.
Right.
no, it should be all the elected officials.
You should be getting one, it won't be from somebody you recognize, it'll be from somebody from Sickich that basically says, they need to ask every one of us if we have any suspicion or evidence of fraud.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, because the return email address says the word Naperville in it.
Yeah, I just thought I should bring it up so that it's okay to answer it right. I mean, it may even make sense to just tell everyone who it's from, because of
Email.
email.
Last night, I believe
Oh,
it
could
came in,
be.
right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it just came in, it was one of the gazillion emails, and I'm like,
Yeah, it came yesterday. It would have come from somebody from Sickich, and they need to ask every single one of us.
We've done that before.
yes, we have, it's
Yeah,
practice.
yeah.
But I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, no, it comes every,
What's on the subject line?
I'm not gonna bring my screen up,
I'll
but,
look.
yeah.
I can look. Yeah, they do it every year.
I auto-delete a lot.
They do it every year, and they also informed us that this year, there's some accounting rules that changed, so they're gonna be, they have to write, our report is going to say these risks exist, there's 2 of them, and they will be in everybody's report, everybody's audit every year. So don't get alarmed when you see those new things.
What's the risk?
And one of them about fraud.
One of them is also about fraud. They will say the village has a risk of fraud. Or, I mean, it's not that plain and
Oh,
simple.
I thought you meant somebody.
No,
No,
no.
okay,
No.
that's
But
better,
the auditor
that's better.
will be required to send us a letter that says that. So there's an accounting rule that changed. They will
And-
have to say that.
And the last piece I have is waste management is now as of, they've sent out postcards, residents are receiving them, August 1st. The pickup date changes from, I think there were Fridays and maybe it was Tuesday, but, the pickup is gonna be on Wednesday for the entire village.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't
so,
get that.
so that,
Oh,
okay.
that will drive people crazy.
so that notice is going out.
Bad news.
They wanted to consolidate everything rather than breaking it up. The other thing is, they did an audit and found a significant number of our residents had not been signed up or paying for waste management with waste, with some containers being collected. They're not gonna say all of them, but, so they've sent out letters to those residents saying that they would now be part of, they would be signed up for waste management. Our code requires it, the agreement that, Fred, huh?
They have a clawback? How that?
I would hope.
So they're addressing it.
I say something, I'm very happy. Oh, go.
We do get 2 trucks on our road on trash day. I guess there's no way to eliminate that, because one's recycle, one's garbage,
It's 2 separate.
and then I get landscape
And
pickup.
landscape waste,
I get
yeah.
landscape
So
waste,
the third
so I
truck.
got 3 trucks, you know, on those little roads, and
I was gonna say, I was happy, because last year I had to fight about landscape, because I don't have a subscription, I don't have enough. I buy the stickers. Last year I had to fight. This year, finally, like, it wasn't a fight.
but even if you.
Stickers on
You
it.
have to get the stickers.
Pardon me?
You still have to get the stickers even though you pay for the pickup. It's in addition to.
Yeah, but you can do a subscription, sorry.
I know.
I don't do
That's
that.
fine.
So we're closing,
I got
up on the meeting here now.
Can I ask one quick question, if anybody knows the answer? There's something on Nextdoor about some company that comes around and cleans your garbage cans. Does anybody, are they legit?
I have no idea, I've seen it, I have no idea.
No idea.
According to the people.
I have too, and I thought, what a great idea. Talk about niche.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The audit letters from Amy Collier,
Amy Collier, okay.
Okay, thank you.
yesterday at 4.
Okay, so we're closing in on the 9 o'clock hour. I believe that there's some folks here that want to go into executive session for the purposes of acquisition and disposition of property. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So does-
Did we also want that for investments or no?
Investments.
And investments as well. Does somebody want to make a motion to that?
So moved.
Okay, moved by trustee O'Reilly, seconded by trustee O'Connor. Roll call, please.
Trustee O'Reilly?
Aye.
Trustee O'Connor? Trustee Borowski?
Aye.
Trustee Chris Meyer?
Aye.
Trustee Micho?
Aye.
Trustee Tanucci?
Okay, motion carried. We're gonna shut down the meeting now to go in executive session, so
Night, chicken. Bye.
Good night, thank you all.
thanks for being here, George.
Good night, John.
Thanks for joining.
You know, I thought waste management also provides a service for cleaning of the candles.
Oh, I'll call them, yeah. Yeah,
I didn't drive.
Something in my mailbox.
okay, great. I knew somebody'd know more than I did. Right.
I'm gonna try to make this work. Let's see if I can do this.
So, we found a parking spot for her car and there's enough room in the garage to put.
I'm gonna try to do this. So,
That's what I'm like. We
Jenny,
still have 9 months to deal with it, but good luck. Thank you.
in this one.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
I hope I did this right, so. Let's try it.
Ben's letter said,
All right, I would like to have a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay, moved by trustee O'Connor, seconded by trustee Tanucci. Roll call, please.
Trustee O'Connor. Trustee O'Connor.
Aye.
Trustee,
Aye.
trustee Borowski.
Aye.
Trustee Chris Sawyer.
Hi.
Trustee Micho.
Aye.
Trustee O'Reilly.
hi.
All right, meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Night, Chris. Night, Jen.
Usually it's so damn cold in
Here.
I know.